Hello, I'm Caitlyn Carpenter. At one point or another in your professional career, you may be asked to run a meeting. This may be every once in a blue moon, or it could be a core part of your daily responsibilities. As a business analyst and project manager for a major insurance company, I find that this is a big part of my job. The problem is, when I first took the position, I didn't have any experience attending meetings, much less running them. So it took a lot of learning for me. I learned from the best. I learned from the experts around me, the people who had been doing it for years. My coworkers were running effectively, efficiently, organized meetings that were smooth and accomplished what they needed to do. So I learned from them. I'm hoping to share some of that with you today and hope that you can glean some value from that. According to the National Statistics Council, 37% of employee time is spent in meetings, and 47% of employees find that too many meetings are their biggest time wasters. So you can see the importance of learning how to run meetings well. In order to run an effective business meeting, we'll break it into 3 parts: before the meeting, during the meeting, and after the meeting. Before the meeting, your key is preparation. You want to prepare adequately so that you can set the stage for a good meeting. We've all heard the phrase, failing to plan is planning to fail, and it could not be more true for meetings. You really need to consider the what, where, when, and who of your meeting when setting the stage for this good business meeting. The what of your business meeting is the purpose. What are you looking to accomplish? What do you want to get out of the meeting? Are you looking to facilitate a discussion or a brainstorming session among coworkers? Are you looking to gather decision makers and come to a decision about an important topic or scenario? Are you looking to gather together a project team and find the status of the project? Whatever the purpose of your meeting is, this will help you create the agenda. Your agenda should contain the major discussion points of what you're looking to cover during your meeting. The Harvard Business Review points out that meetings held simply to distribute information that could otherwise be put in an email or other written document is a waste of participants' time. So consider why you need to hold this meeting. The agenda that you create should be distributed to your participants ahead of time so that they can know what to expect, and what is expected of them. If you are looking to gather information from participants during a meeting that may need to be researched or analyzed ahead of time, this is important to distribute to your members so that they can do that appropriate analysis or research and they can be properly prepared themselves. Along with your agenda, you should send any key documents for review. If you're holding a meeting and you want to go over a 5-page document, it's a waste of time to sit for 20 minutes while all of the participants in your meeting read the document. This is something that could be done on their own time and that they probably would prefer to be done on their own time. So be courteous and send this out ahead of time. Make sure that who needs to be at your meeting will actually be able to be there. Schedule your meeting in a way that it does not conflict with any other meetings or prior engagements on your participants' calendars. If you are holding a meeting where you need a decision made, but in order to make that decision, all 5 decision makers need to be there and one of them can't, reevaluate, consider whether or not your meeting can either be rescheduled or canceled altogether. You don't want to waste anyone's time. In fact, it's very important to um, to impress on your participants that you value their time over yours. It's very important. Make sure that you do not schedule your meeting for more than an hour. I know we've all seen that glazed over look when a topic kind of drones on too long. You want to keep your audience's attention, and meetings that last more than an hour they're hard to remain focused on. In order to again reduce distractions, another great tool is visual aids. This is again something that you'll want to prepare before the meeting. Make sure that the visual aids that you do prepare are relevant to your presentation or to your meeting, and that they are going to help with the agenda and not take away from any of the points that you're trying to make. As far as the actual meeting room goes, accommodate the participants when you're considering where to hold the meeting. If you're on the first floor of a building and the participant in your meeting or the participants in your meeting are mostly on the third floor, opt to take the stairs and book it up to the third floor. It's a courtesy that you can extend to your participants that will be appreciated. Make sure the room that you select is neither too big nor too small. A room that is too big is a waste of resources, and a room that's too small can create tension and stress and kind of those passionate discussions. So make sure that you're selecting the appropriately sized room. The lights in the room should be neither too bright nor too dim. You want to create a comfort level here. You're trying to facilitate a conversation. You want to bring out people's opinions and their inputs, and anything that's less than comfortable will hinder that discussion. If you're using equipment or other electronic devices, make sure you pop into the room a few days ahead of time and verify that you can not only use the equipment but that it's working properly. There's nothing worse than walking into a meeting with 10 other participants and fiddling with your computer while you try to get your visual aids up on a projector. It can be a little nerve-wracking. So take that tension out of the equation for you and prepare accordingly. Make sure the chairs are comfortable and there's going to be enough for everyone, and that those chairs and the tables are facing each other, again, to facilitate the conversation. You really want to create an environment that is inviting for input, that's inviting for the thinking and the talking that you want to occur here. I prepared a sample agenda so I can show you something that you might prepare for your meeting that you may be holding. Up at the top here I've got the name of the meeting and agenda, the date, the time, and the place where the meeting will be held, the participants that are involved, and me listed as the facilitator. The agenda points that I have on here are in bulleted form, with main bullets and sub-bullets, along with a time estimate for how long each topic should be discussed. When it comes time for your meeting to actually be held, you want to remember your place in this meeting. You are the leader. You want to administrate confidently. You want to model the kind of behavior that you want to observe. Facilitate conversation. Try not to dominate it. You want the opinions of others. You want others to speak up. If you didn't value their opinion, then you wouldn't have invited them, so keep this in mind. Greet participants as they walk in and make any introductions that are necessary. I once walked into a meeting and there were probably 15 other people at this meeting, and the meeting facilitator, a very nice woman, said to me, "Katie, I would like you to please explain to Tim how a certain policy works." And I looked around the room. I didn't know who Tim was. You don't ever want to put your participants in a position where they have to awkwardly ask, "Who is Tim?" So do that for them. Make the introductions as they're necessary. Be kind and open to new ideas, open to the discussion that is happening. Show interest when others are speaking. This is, again, the behavior that you want the others to emulate, so put that out there. Don't whisper or make side comments that may be distracting to the speakers and might be seen as disrespectful. Again, you are the meeting leader, so keep the meeting on agenda. You want to refer to it anytime that you start to get off topic and maybe in a way that is that's bringing you farther from the agenda and the point of the meeting, and reel it back in. That's your job as the meeting facilitator, is to keep your meeting on point. Move the discussion along if you find that you're spending too much time on a topic. Don't be afraid to speak up and say, "Hey, I'd love to move this meeting. I love the discussion that's going on, but we really have something that we need to accomplish here. So if you don't mind, let's get back to the agenda." Kind of pull the meeting back together. If you find that one person is dominating a conversation or a discussion a little too much, speak up. That's your job. You want to tell the person that you do value their contributions, but that you'd like to hear from other members. If you do this respectfully, it's almost always well received. Sometimes people just don't know how they're dominating a conversation until it's brought to their attention. Try not to point out someone's mistake during a meeting. It can be difficult, especially if you're somebody who is prone to maybe perfectionism or just wants to get things right. It's tough not to point something out at a meeting, but it can cause embarrassment and humiliation for a coworker and cause a tension there that you don't want. So maybe not point out, but ask the coworker after the meeting to maybe clarify what they were meaning by a certain statement or phrase. And if it is something that needs correction to the group, do so respectfully. And again, do so after the meeting. This is not something that needs to be done during the meeting. Watch your participants' nonverbal behavior. If you have a participant sitting there with crossed arms and a furrowed brow, then you can guess that there's some kind of deeper emotion going on, and there may be some discussion happening that isn't leading to feelings of value and respect. So watch for those cues and correct the conversation, correct the meeting culture and feel as it is happening. Do what you need to bring the meeting back to a good place. Take notes. This will be important for you when you're creating your recap to send after the meeting. Don't let your meeting run over. There's one surefire way to make sure that you gather people who maybe enjoy your meetings or who don't shy away from your meetings, and that's to start your meetings on time and to end your meetings on time. Valuing your participants' time goes a long way. So make sure that you're always exhibiting behavior that says that. As your meeting wraps up, thank your participants for their input and opinions, and provide just a brief 1 to 2 sentence recap and kind of as a closing remark. After a meeting, you want to prepare your recap with action items and items that you're going to follow up on. Your recap should contain a brief overview of things that were discussed and decisions that were made, as well as, again, action items, things that you need to follow up on, and then follow up on them. Again, you want to show your commitment to valuing your coworkers' time by not asking them to rehash the same conversation, by following through on either decisions that were made or by things that need to be followed up on, or recaps that need to be sent. Make sure you send this recap within 1 to 2 days so it's fresh in everyone's mind and they can correct anything that maybe was recorded incorrectly. Running effective meetings can help you accomplish your goals professionally, but at the very least, it will help your coworkers. It'll encourage them not to skip out on your meetings. I hope this has helped. Have a great night.